Okay. I'm here. Yeah, what's happening here? So this is the weekly review for week 4. I'm about to mute the other boys. Secret unannounced talk show. Yeah. I'm sick, so I didn't set stuff up properly for this. Sorry. Anyways, here are our boys. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
So joining us today is Astrus and Vaughn, the two usual suspects. How's it hanging? You two both had a pretty good week, I guess. Picked up wins.
Been pretty good.
Yeah, maybe Astrus' week was good. Mine was stressful in terms of PCAP games.
My week was
So,
great. I don't know about
I'm
you.
gonna be coughing the whole stream if I leave my mic on, so I'm gonna let you guys kind of talk amongst yourselves. So yeah,
Cool.
I'm done my talking part, but I'm just gonna put up the. Let's start off with what happened last week, the predictions.
Alright.
Oh. Alright, Astrus, you should take that because you smurfed in predictions, I guess.
No, I don't. Oh yeah, I'm Big Rain. So for our first game of the week, we had Sentinels versus Yeehaw 5. Almost all of us said Yeehaw 5 was gonna win, which was actually what happened. Yeehaw 5 2-0'd Sentinels. How did it feel to get the only incorrect prediction here, Vaughn?
Well, alright. You know, I was going for the hypey upset play. It did not pan out. Yaha 5 hard smurf on Sentinels and exposed a lot of the weaknesses we haven't been able to see yet. So I guess I was just completely wrong, you know? Go next, honestly. Go next. You can
Yeah,
talk about the next one, pal.
Yeehaw 5 seemed like they were playing really well together, but either way. Next series we had was Guardians of the Rift versus Baby Shark, which all of us said was a 2-1 for Baby Shark, and ended up being a 2-0. I don't think there's much to say about this series. It's kind of what we expected to happen happened. So, you have
Yeah.
anything specific to say?
Finally, Baby Shark showed some of the potential that we were hoping to see earlier in the season. So I was glad to see them turn it around in a win or lose game. And Guardians of the Rift has made a lot of roster changes since then. Biggest question in everyone's mind: will Yangsu come back after his temper tantrum to lead his team to a championship, or will they have to find a new starter? It's the big brain.
Did he play support one of these games for the Baby
Yeah,
Shark?
yeah. He autofilled the support again because his team wouldn't let him play ADC. I guess I don't know. I'm not really entirely sure of the situation, but he definitely played Lulu.
Big yikes.
Yeah.
So going to the next series, we have GT Not Canon versus Bad Boys. Yet again, for the most part, we kind of assumed that Bad Boys was going to win the series, which yet again they ended up doing. GTS being the only person that thought GT Not Canon was going to win, and unfortunately he's not here to talk about it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure this is another series that we kind of expected something to happen, and it happened. This series seemed really obvious.
Yeah, there are a couple of these ones this week where it just felt like the difference in team power or ability to perform led it to some pretty easy assumptions, like with these last two. But I guess, I mean, everyone predicted 2-0 for the next series, which was mine versus Fug's team, and that almost was a huge 2-0 and then 2-1 upset. So thankfully we were all right for my sake, but that was probably the biggest surprise other than the Leftover Lads win of this week.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I played in that series and so did Fug. I'm really it's just a there's lots of blood. There's lots of blood spilled that series, but if you don't have anything to talk about it, we can go on to your series so you can odd flex.
So yeah, last series of the week we had Leftover Lads versus Vortex, which everyone except me thought it was a 2-1 for Vortex.
Yeah,
and
2 weeks in a row, by the way. That's the second week in a row everyone slept on you guys.
I know some BS, but yeah, I got the 2-1 prediction. It was actually I honestly should have been a 2-0, but we kind of messed up one of the games. It was actually a pretty close series throughout for the last game. But yeah, so that's our games from last week going into the matchup predictions for this week, right?
True.
Fug would like to lower the screen.
Yeah. Well, our first one is actually, speaking of Leftover Lads, it is Leftover Lads. And DTS and I hard learned from our mistake. We're actually predicting the same thing as you, which is a 2-1. So how about you walk us through why you're about to 2-1 Sentinels real quick?
So I don't know. I think Sentinels have been on a downward trend in general. the only teams that they've really beaten are teams that are in the lower 5, if I remember correctly. So they haven't played really like some of the better teams at all, and when they did, they lost. So I think it's gonna be the same thing where we're gonna be better than them when it comes out to the series. It will be a close series, though, 2-1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people approach you guys after your last series that you, I mean, no offense, of course, but you smashed Vortex. So I'm hoping teams will adjust and take away some of those picks that looked so effective on your guys' team, especially with your jungle. Like your jungler made so much work early game. We'll have to see how. I don't even know who's technically starting anymore for Sentinels because I know they keeps roster
Yeah,
swapping after
they've
their loss.
had like 3 or 4 roster swaps already. So
Hit him with that classic Nahor. You lose one, ditch the squad.
ditch the squad.
I
Yeah,
respect that. Next series is my team versus Vortex, and I'm the only one to predict that we'll go to game 3. But I did that because every every series, no matter who we play, has gone to 3 games. No matter what. Through our first series, we had all of our starters, and it went to game 3. And then the second series, we had to emergency sub halfway through, and it went to game 3. And then this past series, we had 2 subs and went to game 3. So honestly, at this point, the natural progression is
go to game
we have
3.
3 subs and we go to game
Oh
3.
my.
Honestly, I mean, it's looking like we already 100% know we have 1 sub this week, and it's probably going to be 2. So, but I think with the team identity difficulties that Vortex have been having, they look a lot weaker than I pegged them to be at the start of the season. They're having a lot of trouble making it work between scheduling and then internal issues with like player performance and stuff. I think they're at the lowest point that I've seen them in terms of strength since I've been in Peak Up. So I think that we'll be able to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I gave them a 2-0 because I think you guys are clearly the above and beyond team compared to them. But they have, and before they've had gone and looked really bad earlier on within the first 5 weeks or so, and then just started to come back late season. So we'll see how it turns out. But yeah, everyone's assuming that s.a.d.b.o.i.s wins. The next series we have is the Crusaders versus GT Not Cannon. In my opinion, this is actually a close series. You said 2-0 for Crusaders, but I think it's a 2-1. I think this is going to go close games 3 straight.
I think if Crusaders play anything like they played against us, that's a 2-0. Like they actually felt stronger than any other team we played, 100%. And no matter what happens in a series, like players change or XYZ, different things happen per day. Regardless of the fact that we had subs, it doesn't take away from how well they played. Seriously, they actually were so much stronger than anyone else we've played so far. Their performance was nuts.
Yeah.
I think the roster drops made them a lot better. I think that DTS just has too much faith in GT Not Cannon. I think some of their players individually, off the top of my head, I think Opposin is nuts and also Blank Key Roja. I think those
Yeah.
guys are really good, but I there's something missing from the team. Like they don't win, or if they win, it's just not happening convincingly enough. I'm pretty sure they just have one win. I can't remember who it is, but it wasn't like a major upset. So I don't think GT Not Cannon will win. I think it's going to be a 2-0 if Boosters play like they did against us.
Yeah, they have some definite difficulties on the roster and team play as well. So our fourth series we have is Bad Boys versus Guardians of the Rift, which we've all thought is going to be a 2-0 hard stomp. And I don't think there's much to say about this one. Guardians of the Rift looks like really bad. They've had a lot of roster swaps. I mean, hopefully, like, they upset here, but it doesn't seem likely, especially when Bad Boys been playing pretty well throughout the whole season already. So I don't see a random shift, especially with like the bot lane. I mean, Yangtze looked good in like one series, but other than that, he had to switch to support. So
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of the same way. Guardians of the Rift is in last place. They've only won one game in the entire season. And granted, that was against DEHA 5, which is one of the better teams, but otherwise they've been 2-0'd by both Baby Shark and Sentinels.
yeah,
And I would say that Bad Boys is a stronger team than both of them. It's gonna
by
be
far.
I think that one's gonna be the most one-sided matchup of the week. And then that brings us, speaking of Baby Shark, to actually the one I'm most interested in seeing, which is Yeehaw 5 versus Baby Shark, which we all predicted Yeehaw 5 to win.
Yeah.
And I like that you said 1-2 actually a lot, because after last week, Baby Shark looked like they had an idea about how to fight as a team again, because they sort of forgot how to do that, I guess, once the season kicked off. And when I talked to Overrate, actually, when he and I were casting your series this week, he talked about how last week's game in week 3, the team finally came together and followed calls and played well. So I think if the team can do that again, they can put up a fight, but just coming off of their early performance in the season, I have too much doubts in Yeehaw 5's ability just to hard shove their individual skill down the throats of Baby Shark. So I'm thinking it's going to be a win for Yeehaw 5.
Yeah, I can see Baby Shark like squeezing out a game here, but Yeehaw 5 just looked way too strong in every single series they played in, except the random Yangsu loss. But every other series, every other game, they've been pretty incredibly dominant. So, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure they win the series altogether. I can see Baby Shark squeaking out a win with another Kennen series, or not series but game. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is pretty easily in Yeehaw 5's favor.
All right. I agree with that. So I just want to say, I mean, everyone had time to look at our power rankings, so I don't think we need to go through them. One thing I want to ask you, though, is why do you have Baby Shark rated so low compared to other teams?
So if you look at like, I don't know. So I still think they have. I was looking at it earlier. Where was it at? I had it a tab somewhere. So here's how I see it right here. So Baby Shark is what 1-2 right now.
Sure.
Look at who they beat. They've only beat Guardians of the Rift, which is 100% like bottom team right here. And they've lost to GT Not Cannon, and they've also lost to s.a.d.b.o.i.s. s.a.d.b.o.i.s, okay, whatever, top team, 100%. You're gonna most likely lose that, especially when you're having like team problems, or like identity problems at least. But then you guys go and smash the bottom team, which should happen. They're definitely the worst in the league. But then you go and play GT Not Cannon, which I mean, you and me have as ninth, and DTS as sixth, but that's honestly a little biased. They're probably like around like a 7th and 8th tier team, and they go and they pretty like hardly lose. Was in the 2-0. GT Not Cannon 2-0s them. Like if they go and play other teams that I see that are like I said, I can see them squeaking out games against teams. I don't see them like winning series against teams.
Okay. I mean, I can get behind it with the schedule argument. I'm putting them at 5th mostly because I see that they have the pieces to make it work, and when it works, it looks really good, but it's too inconsistent yet. But I don't want to rate them much lower than the other teams because I feel like their peak is so much higher than a lot of the teams I have below them, or I feel like the individual players on that team propel them to the point I've put them in. But I will say, if they don't continue on this upward trend, like they beat Guardians of the Rift, which we pretty much said was do or die for them in terms of how their team season would progress, because both those teams were 0-2 going into that week. I think if they can show a strong performance against Yeehaw 5, even if they lose, I'm really happy about that. But if they just roll over and die, I'll be more on your side, because then we'll be halfway through the season by then, and they haven't really shown anything that we've been looking for this split. So I'm
I
down.
think another thing is that I put Vortex much higher than anyone else did.
Why? Just curious about that.
I do not. I don't think they're a bad team. I mean, if you look at the series, like I said, game 1 was close. They ended up winning, and then game 2 and 3 were pretty much not fully one-sided, but we
No,
definitely were in the driver's seat.
they were pretty rough. I mean, you had an 8K gold lead before 20 minutes game 3,
Come
and
on.
game 2 is similar. No, it's not like it's
Yeah.
the statistics of the game. In game 1, you guys were up 3K coming out of lane phase, and then you didn't execute with your lead entirely correctly. So
I know that we were definitely in the driver's seat for actually the majority of every single game in there. And game 1 we lost to Baron, and then we kind of like lost the game after
yeah,
that.
if Logra hadn't gotten a godlike steal on Baron, I think you guys would have won that game as well. So I think mixed with they've lost every series they've played except for the Busaders pre-roster swap. I don't know how I feel about that. because they got 2-0'd by Sentinels, who you've been arguing has been looking like a weaker team than we thought.
Yeah.
They beat b.o.i.s' original lineup, which is much weaker than the one they have currently now. And then they lost with their full roster and really convinced. Like, you guys thrashed them. It was brutal. So I don't know. I
still think
was a firm believer of them too. Like, if you look at the previous weeks, I have Vortex at number 1, like 2 weeks in a row, and then even after their loss, I had them in like the top 5. But they just, I don't know what needs to be fixed to get them back to where they were last season, but something has to change. I'm not sure what.
I should have think that, like, if you're looking at honestly, like the last 2 weeks for Vortex, I should have think it's not even like, well, it is bad play too, but I think it's more like mental boom. Like, I don't want to meme it up, but like, you all know what happened last week with the scheduling BS thing that they've had, and this week they just kind of just look like they weren't like fully playing, honestly, in my opinion. So I think if they can get over that, I had no reason why they mental boom, but if they can get over that, um, they can definitely just come back. I don't think that they're a bottom like 4 or bottom team at all.
Well, here's the thing. I agree with you in the sense that I feel like it sounds like you're saying they have the potential to do well, but right now, if I look at all the teams on the list, I would choose Vortex to play over any of the teams I put above them. In terms of, if I could get a free series to play, and you're like, you can choose one team and it has to be the top 8 teams, I would choose Vortex based off their performance. So in this exact moment, I feel like they are a weak team, which, I really like a lot of players on Vortex.
Yeah.
But I can't just say like, oh, they're having mental problems, they'll be back. Like, it's you can't have that double narrative there where it's just like, oh, these guys suck, or oh, these guys won't suck in the future. It's just right now at this stage, they seem like a really weak team based on all the issues they're having. And you can't discredit mental boom or scheduling, because that's part of playing in peak up now, where it's like scheduling is really difficult and you have to be consistent and you have to be able to play around subs. It's like almost every team has been using them now, so it's just kind of changed how the league works. So I hope I see them better, because I honestly really really like their team and I like how they approach playing the game. It's just not executing. But I feel like we spent enough time on this, so let's go to the power rankings now of players.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that.
Pug wants to get his computer and switch. Is he even here? Oh, he switched.
Yeah. So I feel like the biggest changes in the power rankings, because we have a lot of similarities between our tables, is we see leftover lads members breaking up the top 5 more, and also b.o.i.s. There's not just Nova Typhoon up there anymore. Like, we got Fug, Drowsy is on DTS's eye, like players to watch. We've got, well, just those 2 actually, but it's, I mean, that's 2 more than it was in
Mighty
every
Mead's
other
on
week.
DTS's 3rd place mid as well.
Oh yeah, Mead. And Mead is my player to watch too. Like, a lot of times when there's players who just only play 1 week or a couple games, because I know those players played in like 1 game last week, but I'm reluctant to put them on until they have a consistent performance, except for Fug, because Fug played all last split and he came in our series and played really well. And with the lack of top lane depth, I felt like it put him in a solid spot, which you and DTS seem to agree in, because all 3 of our top lanes look almost identical. And also our jungle looks identical. Really, a lot of our stuff looks a lot of the same. But how will we touch on, what role do you think is the most interesting to talk about at this point?
I honestly, like, everything's kind of like more of the same, except for like exclusive players coming.
Nova
Like,
Typhoon versus C9 Psych Chimps. Let's go. That's the
oh
first thing
yeah,
I
I've
noticed
had
that's
C9
different.
Psych Chimp.
Oh, true.
Nova's not winning games.
True. Very true.
He's not, like, I don't know. I think it's more of like a b.o.i.s thing in general, not just a Nova thing. But a lot of the like things that Novas are doing, which are really good, aren't translating into his team winning.
That's fair. That's fair. Also, we've seen a lot of turnover in terms of support. Namely, we have Odinex breaking in everyone's top 5 in support, like really high up there. And I think I want to explain my reasoning around that, as I'm sure it's similar to yours.
A second, before we move on from that, I'm going to bring in a new jungler who, well, not new to the league, but just joined a team, Javante. if he wants to give his take on the jungle pool before we move on from it. He's been
Bro.
asking. So he is the new
Yo.
jungler for Guardians of the Rift, for anyone wondering. So
Um,
I'm just quickly going to let him give his spiel on what he thinks the roster moves Guardians of the Rift did are impacting their team, and also your thoughts on the current jungle lineup.
quick thing before I start. On the little player power rankings, I changed my name back to Javante. It's not Charlie Jungle GF anymore. Just a quick note. But yeah, man. Guardians of the Rift. It was definitely kind of random. Me joining the team. I was kind of like done with Prophecy Cup. I didn't really care anymore. I've been focusing like a lot on school since I'm in college now, and like a lot of solo queue actually. Just insane amounts of climbing recently. But so yeah, Yanks hit me up. He's like, "Yo, can you fill for a scrim?" I'm like, "Yo, I got you." I play, and it just goes absolutely wonderful, man. Just these players on my team just fucking playing like little fucking devils, bro. We're all just on the same page, just getting shit done, fucking shit up, you know? And I just feel like my team is strong. Everyone said, "Oh, Guardians Rift 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Oh, the bad boys gonna stop us." But no, we're gonna defy that. From week 4 to week 5, I will rise and become the #1 jungler in the league. And on everyone's power rankings, I will take over the league and bring the Guardians Rift back from last place all the way to the playoff winners.
You good there, buddy?
But yeah, the other junglers are kind of cool, I guess. Like, I don't know who's here. IRL Enjoyer. Talk to him in Gen Chat. He sounds like a total little cunt.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Chill, chill, chill.
I can't stand up. Oh yeah, my bad, my bad, my bad. But like, I think his name's kind of ironic since he has like over
Come on,
500 rank games.
I brought
like,
him in
hard
because
for people.
he's new and he's a returning person who was in previous leagues. That's all.
The Clout King. That's why. The Clout
That
King.
as
Anyways,
well.
Night of the Z. He's been pretty consistent ever since season 3 when he first joined the league as like top mid, and the others are like okay, I guess like whatever. So yeah. Later.
So now that he's gone, I like to point out that I don't think Fizzy's like he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna change up Guardians of the Rift that much.
Same.
I mean, he didn't really do it back for last season with Hamlet, and Hamlet was probably like one of the stronger mids last season. So I don't know. I like Fizzy though.
Yeah, well, let's see if he can actually back up the pretty hypey talk. Like, I'm actually really down with the self hype, but
Yeah.
I mean, IRL Enjoyer's 1,000,000 times better than him. But I guess we'll see how he performs.
Yeah. Don't think top 5, but yeah, we'll see. So back to supports. Fun.
Yeah, sure. I mean, now it's time for us to drone on as boring newscasters after that very energetic interruption.
Yeah.
But seriously, Onex is looking like the fucking Kyoshi of support. Like, he's performing super well. He's worth gold points. That's my dog, dude. Also, he plays Bard, so I'm a big fan. But I think he's one of the biggest reasons that your team has turned around. I'm gonna be honest. He seems really easy to work with based on like my conversations with him, and I don't know, like he's one of the shining spots on your team when there's so many good points to talk about. It's really impressive when the support stands out a lot, especially when he's so much more of a lower solo queue rank. So you gotta hype up your support, which I'm sure that you also feel that way because you put him all the way up at number 2, which is pretty nutty.
Yeah. I don't see as big of an impact as some of the other supports. I mean, we keep switching around like Afro the Giant and Sir Skittles and then like top like 2 and 3. And like every week they're kind of just like either they have like a pop off game where they like really just like impact the game or they don't. And I don't know, they're kind of like wishy washy. Where I think Onex has been playing much more consistently, like better than the other 2 players.
That's
And
fair.
then
That's fair.
Nahor's just like kind of just there in my opinion. I don't see anyone like else other than like Nahor in top 5. Actually, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if I'm undervaluing him and like he shouldn't be higher.
Yeah, I feel that way a lot of times about Nahor as well, and then also Puff, who I never list anyone who didn't play that week, so I didn't put Puff in my top 5, but he was in top 5. I'd probably throw him at 5th or 4th just because he's been playing consistently well. All you need when you're playing support with Secretic is to heal him and give him Ardent buff, and that's what he's doing, and it's winning games. So that's consistent enough for me. Otherwise, mid lane, I put my boy Babs at number 2, who's a new addition to the top 2. He's never been that highly ranked, and so did you. And I really like that. He played insane in your game against Vortex. Otherwise, things that are different than normal are lots of Vortex members dropping off, but that's sort of just a byproduct of their team's performance as a whole. Like Loker especially hasn't looked too clean. He's looked very strangely off, and I'm not sure what's behind that, but it just feels like that goes back to the identity again. But in terms of jungle though, Ropey's been playing like a monster. Like when he subbed back in, and Japan Cakes played well for Bad Boys, but Ropey popped off in their series, especially Zach. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw his like 5-man blind ult, which was sick. But other than that, a lot of stuff is looking the same. Not much shakeup between the weeks, just swapping around of the top 5. So that's all I've really got from power
Okay,
rankings.
wait. Can we go to AD carry? This is the thing that like actually like kind of look at. I mean, we talked about it before.
Yeah.
I have devastation twice. Holy wait.
Nice.
But yeah,
3rd
so,
and 5th, he's nuts.
Yeah, he's a monster player. I want to point out iGlory and Opposing actually top
Okay.
5 this week. So like you look at them, I don't want to like I don't know how to come
This
about
is
this.
the case for us to put
I
you
don't
in
know how
top
to- I
5.
don't
You
know
can
how to
just,
come
you
about
can just
this.
admit it. You can just admit that you
No,
think
like,
you should be
it's
top
like,
5
look,
over them.
I could-
Just be
I could
transparent.
honestly-
We know.
I could okay. I'm like straight up forward. I think I'm a top 5 player, but either way, I don't care about that. Like looking at it outside view, I don't think like either of them should be in even top 4. Like if you're putting me top 5, I don't think those two should be in top 3 or 4. Like if you're putting me at 5th place, they shouldn't be like 3rd or 4th. So I don't think Opposing played too well last week. He went like 3-3 and like 0-4. Like okay, lol. And then Aguilar played pretty well in our series, but I mean I won, so who cares? But I don't think Aguilar's been going down because he's like one of the shining stars in Vortex, like consistently playing well. But he's not like winning the games for his team. Yet again, that's like a whole team problem.
But you're not winning the games for your team.
I'm doing my job, bro. Come on.
Yeah,
And
well, so is he. Your argument doesn't work. You have different
look at
points, but
Opposing.
like,
Look at Opposing.
okay, no, you don't dodge the subject. You say he's not
I'll
really
talk
the
about
reason
both
they
of
win
them, though.
games. In last week's series, in what universe were you the main reason your team won the series? You played well, fine. But Babs 1v9, your jungler, hard smurf, Roxas destroyed his top lane matchup, and you were like there too with Caitlyn. Like
Yeah,
no
I'll
flame,
give you
because you
that one.
played fine, but you can't just like make points about other players and don't apply them to yourself. Because I'm gonna hard stick up for my rankings there. Like just because they're not the reason why they're winning or losing, you did the same thing for like DTS last season, where it's like, oh, he's not the main factor in their wins. It doesn't mean their individual play isn't super good, and that may or may not change as the weeks.
No, my point for DTS last season was that like when they were winning, he was like he was one of the reasons. But when they were losing, he was definitely one of the reasons.
Well, I don't understand. They lost like one series. They lost one
No,
series.
when there was games there was games where they were behind. There's 100% games that they were behind last season. And you're looking at it, and it's just like, okay, the reason why they're behind is like
give me an example. Give me an example, because you mentioned it every week last season. Every week you brought that up as a point, but when were they losing games? Maybe Fug. Hey, Fug, you were on that team. Do you feel like DTS was the reason you lost all your wins?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I did have to put him on my back and just really put out the work.
True.
To carry that
Amen.
team.
Amen, Fug. That's okay. That's fair. You've convinced me.
And Drowsy too. He's really good, and those are the only 2 members that did anything. To be honest.
I don't know. I think it was like
Amen, brother.
I think it's
really
really
think that
showing
team
on the
was
Blue
more
Sabres
like
who was carrying
kind
that
of the
team.
Z Doxling, 100%.
What? What?
By the way, this is last season. They're in a new season.
You're actually griefing. The point still stands. Is like, I don't even know where I'm. I don't know. I have to sit down actually because I'm so overwhelmed with the
I'm
logic.
still sitting down anyway.
Yeah. Well, here. Let me stand up, and then sit down because I'm so concerned. Okay. Well, that's fair. But anyway, going slightly back on topic. When I was watching the series, I felt iGlory did very well. His positioning in fights was nuts, and at some point, you can only do so much as the ADC when you leave lane and your team is like 0-6 7 in the top side of the map, but I don't have a reason to put them down yet because I watch all the games. They play individually really well. Like I saw the play, I watched it. I know you didn't because I'm in your Discord and you were
Which
busy
one?
all week. So there's no way you watched the game.
I watched some of the VODs
KDA.
again.
You're watching KDA
I rewatched VODs.
after. Oh yeah, you did. What
Yeah.
what VODs did you watch?
Let's not talk about which VODs I watched. Right?
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. You like obviously your KDA is gonna look bad if your team gets stomped. Like that doesn't necessarily show how they performed or anything. So I don't know, dude.
Yo, you guys want to
yeah,
look at
what's
the
up, Fug?
fantasy quick?
Sure, bring it up.
Sure,
Just because
man,
I actually
yeah.
haven't looked at how it's
Oh
going
wait,
after
Fug,
this
aren't you
week.
like number 1 in this? This is an odd flex.
Yeah, I know it is. When I lose the week, gotta show who's flexing on fantasy though. Wait, is that
Yeah,
Bussy Warrior and Fuck Nuggler number 1 and 2 in fantasy scores? What?
Oh
What? These guys are smurfing in fantasy. Who are these insane players? Wow,
Wow.
384, 364, and who's the next? Wow. Oh wait, this guy's actually kind of close. Whoever Venom is. Okay, Venom's coming up. For some reason, this isn't.
Hey, that's
sorted,
Omnia.
but,
Good shit, Omnia.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I drafted only my team last week. Worked out pretty good. Not too bad. 152 points. Nova actually smurfing on me, though. He got 160 and 220 the week before. Huge nums. To be
Wow.
honest, I accidentally drafted powerfully week 1, and it worked out really good.
Oh wait, these leaderboards aren't updated. Okay, I was like, how am I in 11 or 12? But then I
Wait, these
noticed
aren't
Fate had
updated?
a. Yeah, no, look at Fate's score, pal.
Wait, maybe Fates was, like, he never updated his roster, and it was over points. That's my assumption.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying the leaderboards aren't updated because I have 310, but I'm in 12th. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I just saying
Andy.
you can scan through, and these are the 2 biggest numbers
Chop, chop.
still, my friend.
Yo, I'm just saying, everyone pick me up for fantasy. I dropped 45-point support scores. How can you not want that? I'm so good.
I'm
Pick
just
me up,
saying,
guys.
so far, every series, we clown it out 2 full games, like bring it to 50 minutes. We make sure 3-game series give you your best odds on getting at least one
Nuts.
game where we're getting points. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for points, Bucero's the ways to go, boys.
Bug is actually big brain. Wait, who do you guys play again?
I actually DM'd Vaughn last week. I said, I hope you're good to go to 3 games because we're clowning it out for fantasy
wait, yeah,
points.
you actually did. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, that was actually what happened. That was what happened that series. We definitely
That was
were
the
following
plan
the
for
game
game 3. Unfortunately, we milked the fantasy a little bit too hard game 3.
Yeah, you tried to
Unfortunate.
extend a game 3 too much. Unlucky. Also, Astrus.
My bad,
just
my bad, my bad.
Okay. Astrus didn't want to hear us talking about how good.
I'm
we
tired
are.
of hearing this fantasy BS.
Alright, anything else you guys want to bring up before we call it
We're running
night?
into the stats, right? The stats.
No, I didn't do stats this week. I was
No,
fucking
Fug
Alright.
is sick, bro. He doesn't have time to do
Yeah.
that for us.
That's true.
All right. Yeah. I
Wait,
think
wait,
I'm done.
bottom players? Bottom players? Question mark.
You
I love
can
this
do it.
section. I love this
If you wanna
segment.
do it.
Yes.
Give me your
Okay, I'll
thing.
zoom in on the roster for you.
All right, let's look at the rosters here. Although this isn't technically a discussion, I will zoom in on the rosters here. So, let's look at the bottom top laner. Here, I'm not okay. I know it's gonna. I know what my boy on here is gonna say. It's gonna be Josidon. What else? Come on, Vaughn. Give me someone else other than Josidon.
No, this is you, dude. This is all
Okay, I think it's Freshburger 100%. Translate leads when he doesn't. Half the time he doesn't get leads anyway. Jungler, damn. A lot of the players are actually moved. Like Narp is gone. I'm gonna have to say who. Loker right now, honestly. Loker's looking really inconsistent and looks like another jungler like kind of bullies him. He doesn't know what to do. So, I'm gonna put that one out there. Mid lane, dang. This is another hard one. I'm gonna have to say probably Kurama too. I think he's like the lowest point mid laner in this, and he's just not looking too good, especially with Loker looking bad. 80 carry Yangsu, not even a question. And support, I'm going to have to put. Man, this is a hard one. Honestly, none of the supports look too bad. I'd probably have to put Guardians of the Rift support. He's not looking too great. Or maybe Roma, but I mean, this is what it is.
You realize that guy's never even played
Alright.
yet.
Yeah, but like, what can I say about that? Like,
Nova didn't actually send me a play of the week, but I'm just gonna click the top thing on LCS Big Plays and play it.
Hell yeah.
Best macro play of the season by
Oh,
far.
this play
What a
is so good. This play is so good. I love that this was the one you chose. Oh, everyone watch this.
Yeah.
Get your
Because
popcorn. This is
Horn
a
already
sick
has
play.
Iceborne, so it's gonna be harder for them to take them out than it would be for.
Oh, Park Simon.
Oh, shoutcast this. Oh, Zoe,
nice.
RZ, and Q. Gragas misses the buy slam. Misses,
What is
oh,
happening in the
Come
middle
on, go him, Q.
behind.
right
Oh,
now?
I'm behind.
All right.
I'm
you
not
can't,
even trying to-
You can't make us ignite.
I'm not
Bad
even.
casting to go with the bad plays.
Oh, and the Varus
Yeah,
ulti
teleport
again,
coming in.
important on nothing. What a that was my favorite play of the Premier League, bro. That shit cracked me up so much.
Wait, can we do? That was the best part of the. Wait, we should do this every time. Except for finding the best thing, instead of the bad picks, we should find the worst plays. That's
Wait, can you
that's
guys-
really hype.
You guys link that in general so I can watch it?
It's in
It's
LCS
in
Big Plays.
LCS Big Plays. It's the most recent video.
Okay.
That was sick. All right, I feel like it's a great one. That encompasses everything P-Cup related, and I
Yeah,
think we should
pretty
just
much.
sign out there.
Yeah.
I'm good
Yeah,
to go.
that's.
See you later, boys.
All right.
Wait, are we gonna
good.
sign off or what, bro?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
we're
you can
done.
sign
This is
off.
a low-key week.
Low
All right,
key.
I'm down with that.
All right.
All right.